Darkcast Network. Indie pods with a dark side.
You are listening to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic as fuck. And I'm your host, Alanna.
And I'm Kelsey.
And the shaking, purring in the background is Gordo, as most of you will know. But if you're new here, meet Kelsey's cat.
Yeah.
Take a drink from me having to mention him in the first 10 seconds, but then he shook his collar during the intro.
Yeah, he's been very, very needy. Attention seeking. He's exhibiting some very high attention seeking behavior today.
Beware, shall you start a podcast? Your cat will do the same. No, you were like, no, he's good and he's calm and he's just laying here. And then I started the intro and then I swear I was like, now he's purring in the mic.
Yeah.
Now
He was closer to the mic than I was. He's trying to take over as Alanna's co-host of this podcast.
No. You watch out, because the next thing you know, he's gonna be trying to knock you off.
Yep. He'll be poisoning my food and
God. Oh no. My lord. No, we just did the that's a good segue. We were just talking about synchronicities of, like, we covered the thing on our Patreon of a Reddit post about a fiance napping. A fake fiance napping, shall we say.
Yeah.
Where someone was like, yeah, I guess like Angela from The Office tried to get fake kidnapped for their proposal, but like then they covered it on Sinisterhood. But then also on Wine and Crime, I was catching up with some of their recent ones, and they had done a fur crimes sort of themed episode.
Oh.
And I was like, when did this come out? We just did Animal Detectives. Same day. Came out on April 10th. I was like, wait a minute.
Wow. Plagiarism.
Or that Arrested Development season when Will Arnett and Ben Stiller's character just like, same. Over and over again. I know, the synchronicity of it all was so, like, I was like, what? We did not call them. Cool as we are, we do not know Wine and Crime or some of those other big ones in the biz.
It's funny because I've noticed it. Gordo, you can't be behind the laptop. There's a candle there.
Your camera.
Buddy.
Did he just hiss at you?
Oh, yeah. Okay, bye.
They sound so funny when they get mad. With Fenrir, he's just like, oh. Yours, it's like, hiss, I'm gonna claw your eyes out.
Yeah. No. No, I noticed there's like a few of my YouTube like channels that I watch that do reactions for movies and TV shows.
Ooh, yes.
There's one that literally just finished reacting to The Good Place. Like last week or the week before they finished. And two of the other channels I watch have now started reacting to The Good Place. So
like, a show that is not
watch.
like new necessarily. So that's quite interesting.
And I think two of the channels are also reacting to Killing Eve now, and I'm just like, damn, like everybody's reacting to the same shows. Like, there obviously a lot of them are reacting. I know.
That's
funny. A lot of it, like a lot of you get a lot of them watching like the new shows kind of like week by week as they come out, so there's a lot of overlap that way. But when you get into the older shows, like you said, you really don't expect everybody to be watching the same show at once.
No,
It's like,
or for
oh,
like,
this person's on episode 9, and this group's on episode 3, and this group just finished, and this group might start. It's like,
especially if they're
damn.
just people that react to all different things, which I'm
Yeah.
guessing is the case. Yeah, it's not like you're watching a rewatch podcast or whatever, like Office Ladies or the one that they
Yeah.
rewatched, The New Girl, and it's called The Mess Around, I think. Yeah, like because I'll watch those ones too, and then you know what episode they're going to be on and stuff. But that's weird for a bunch of yours to be reviewing an older show
Yeah.
all seemingly at the same time.
Right?
Yeah,
I thought it was kind of funny.
it is.
But a lot of
It's,
it, like almost all of them, I think they put the shows that they want to watch next, like up on a list, and then they have kind of the
oh
viewers
yeah.
vote on which one they're actually going to start next.
Oh wow, okay. These
So,
people are just like, we don't
um,
care as long as you react to something cool, we'll watch it.
yeah, like they'll put up the ones that they're most interested in watching, then be like, hey, which ones are you guys wanting to see
Yeah,
first, or which ones should we start first? But
nice,
yeah, I
nice.
just thought it was funny that like within a couple months, 3 of them are watching the same show. It's like, damn.
So crazy. I mean, it's not, but yeah, I get it, like the synchronicities when I'm like, but why? Because I literally
Yeah.
had a piece of paper the other day where I was writing down, because, I jot these things. And then I was like, but then 2 podcasts in one day mentioned an old 90s anti-drug ad. And not the popular one, like this is your brain on drugs, like an obscure one. And
Yeah.
I was like, you did this to me, Dad, or I'm that's you're the
Oh,
reason I am this way. I had never heard of it. And then like on 2 different shows just randomly came up. I was like, what? Anyway, those are the kind of
that's
things that I
really
write down.
weird.
Yeah.
You know what that just reminded me of? I think it was on
No.
Facebook. I just saw a thing that said, you remember it was very early 2000s, maybe even late 1990s, that ad
God,
or
never
like
say
little
late
promo.
1990s. No. I feel it in my
Well,
soul.
that little promo that used to play on like DVDs, being like, you
Okay.
wouldn't pirate a
Oh,
DVD,
yes.
you wouldn't pirate this, you wouldn't
You wouldn't
steal a
steal a
car.
card. Yeah.
And it was so like aggressive, this like music and the font and everything, and
Oh,
then like
yes. People do talk
um
about that one sometimes.
apparently they're now in hot water, the people that made that, because now
Oh,
we've
no.
discovered like 20 some years later that they may have copied or quote unquote pirated the font that they used off and stolen it from somebody else. So it's
Wah,
honestly
wah.
kind of hilarious to me.
Or like
uh
some sort of reaching ironic clickbait. Yeah.
Maybe. I honestly did not click into the article. I just thought it was so funny.
Well, it didn't get you
I was like,
then.
I know. Yeah. Uh
No, that's crazy.
I just
Like,
thought it was hilarious. You wouldn't steal a pizza. You wouldn't steal a car. Don't pirate a movie. Like,
I
really?
know. I don't remember that so much as just like the FBI warning coming up on all the DVDs that
Oh,
you
yeah.
watched. Yeah. And then
The
like
FBI,
then
they
it was
gon'
all
find
coming
you.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh
love
God.
watching those things and coming soon. You're like, God, that movie's old too.
I know. I still love asking, like, when people get home from the movies and stuff. Like this weekend, Pat and Pat took Rain to the scary one. Oh God, under something
Sinners?
until dawn, until dawn.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "What trailers did you see?" That's what I want to know. I
Yeah,
was like,
that's some of my favorite part, because even if the movie ends up sucking, at least you saw trailers for what you can go see next time.
I know. I think the only one Pat remembered was a Marvel one. I was like, okay, but then we're gonna go see. Well, I think Rain and I are gonna see the Minecraft one. I don't know. I would have gone to see either, was the thing. And then
Yeah.
just Rain's interested in Minecraft, and I was like, that one looks good too. So I think we're gonna go see that one, and that should be entertaining because Jack Black. So it should work out. But we'll get different trailers for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, how's everybody out there in the ether?
Yeah.
Oh, hope we're all having a good time. On this wonderful day when this comes out in several days from now. Again.
Yeah.
This one's a short one, and then we're gonna get going on our next episode. We've already picked our next one, so now I'm very excited to get going on them.
Yeah. We'll see. Mine ended up being a little longer than I thought, but I might cut some of the
Oh, damn.
back half out. It might be a little wordy for what it is.
That's too funny. I don't even know what you're covering because this one's just like we just left it open to like South American lore and legends if we haven't said that already, which we probably
Yeah.
haven't.
What did I end up on? Oh, I found an
Oh,
amazing site
I was like,
that
wait, do you know what topic you did? Just kidding.
I ended up finding an amazing site called like folklore.earth that
Ooh,
had a
okay.
whole bunch of really cool folklore. You could look it up by like alphabetical or by country.
Oh my gosh, that's the best. Really,
Yeah,
wow.
shout out to them. It was a really cool site. So a lot of the information I have at the beginning is from them.
Like holy
Yeah.
cross referencing, I should say.
Yeah. So yeah, that made it a lot easier when I was looking stuff up, and then I kind of padded out um some of their information with some other articles and sites, but yeah.
Yeah, I found a lot of good quotes for mine too, where I was like, oh, good, it's not just like 2.5 pages anymore or whatever.
Oh, mine's longer than that. Mine's pretty typical for me, but
Nice.
I decided to do the Mapuche,
Oh,
or yeah, Mapuche mythology. They're an indigenous group. Uh,
okay.
yeah.
I can't say I didn't think Makuchi like when this the one I was just talking about Handsome Pod
No.
and Tig was talking about her friend Kate Makuchi. She's like, yes, my friend Kate Makuchi. And they're like, oh, so
Damn.
she's aware of how it sounds. And she's like, oh yeah.
Of course she is. She had a childhood.
Yeah,
Kids
they're
are
like, oh yeah, they're very like funny. Like the other host, Fortune Feimster, will just be
yeah.
like, "Well, yeah, like Cooter, come on, like."
I love Fortune Feimster. She is
Okay,
hilarious.
it's
I
such a
watch her
good
stand up on
podcast.
Netflix.
Well, Handsome Pod is her, Mae Martin, who's Canadian comedian, and Tig Notaro, who's a really funny other American comedian. So I'm like, oh, it's almost like the female Smartless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tig was in Army of the Dead, right?
Yes,
She
because she
was
had to
like the
replace.
helicopter.
Yeah, she replaced the
Yeah.
guy that got replaced on that one. Completely in CGI. Filmed it afterwards with no one else from the movie. Like all her
Oh,
scenes were
really?
inserted afterwards.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Damn.
Yeah. I know it's pretty interesting. I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." Yeah, she's talked about it on the pod a couple times and then I think she keeps referring to it wrong like not Army of Darkness. I don't know. Maybe she said something else of darkness and I was like, "You
Uh,
almost got it." Yeah, very good,
yeah, that
very funny
movie.
podcast. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds fun. Um, yeah, so the Mapuche people, they live in Chile and Argentina.
Okay.
And yeah, they have very spiritual traditions that focus on the balance between the natural and supernatural worlds. So
That's
it's all
cool.
about very much you'll see themes of balance. So I always think of like yin and yang or yin and
Oh
yang
yeah.
for that, but uh belief system is also rooted in animism.
Oh,
The
they
belief that
worship
objects,
anime.
places, no. The belief that objects, places, and creatures all possess a distinct spiritual essence and are capable
Oh,
of helping or harming human interests. So
oh, I
just that
like that.
everything. Yeah.
Because then you're
They
like,
also believe.
yeah, sorry. I'm philosophizing. Be nice to things so they'll be nice to you, even your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
That's funny.
They also believe in ancestor worship and dualistic cosmology, in which opposing
Oh.
forces maintain equilibrium in the universe. Again, kind of the balance.
Oh. Is that what that means? Oh,
Mhm.
that's cool.
Yeah, I
Never
was like,
heard
what
of
is dualistic cosmology?
it. We both
It's
paint
like,
our faces with makeup at the same time? Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, woo!
What? Oh, cosmetology.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah, no.
cosmopolitan,
Oh God, when I used to
Neapolitan.
read that. Oh, so hilarious,
Yeah,
but hilariously bad in their
Cosmo.
advice. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Famously.
Um,
Put a fork on his dick. Wait, what?
so funny.
I don't know if that was a real one or
Uh,
just something I conjured, but yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
too
who
bad.
knows? In their hundreds of issues, it's very likely something involved a fork at some point.
I used to literally prefer to read like the FHM and like they weren't exactly the hustler ones, but they're more like a Sports Illustrated, like um
Mm.
FHM. I don't know, I forget what the other one was called, but yeah, like those kinds were actually had better articles than
She's
Cosmo.
out there reading Playboy for the articles.
Seriously though. Yeah. Oh God.
uh, so for they had a little on the site a thing about the rituals and ceremonies. So there's I'm so sorry. I couldn't look up any pronunciations other than the Mapuche. So the Nagulu. Oh my god, Nagulatan. Uh, I should have
Okay.
looked up because it's the most sacred ceremony. It's
Yeah,
like,
but
oh
sometimes you
damn.
can't find it, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's
I have a
a
few
grand.
words that come up in mine I'm unsure of.
Yeah. It's a grand prayer ceremony held to honor the spirits, deities, and ancestors, and it involves offerings of food and fermented drink, sacred dances and music, ritual prayers led by the Machi, which are their shamans, and
Oh,
animal sacrifices to appease spirits and ask for blessings.
that's cool.
This ceremony is crucial for maintaining harmony between the natural and spiritual worlds. Um, and the role of the Machi or shaman, they're highly respected spiritual leaders, healer, and mediator between the human and supernatural realms. And their duties can include conducting healing rituals using herbal medicine and chants, interpreting dreams and omens, performing exorcisms to drive away Wakifi, um, which I think I have a thing about later. Yeah, I do.
Oh.
More on them later. And they lead major ceremonies, including that the most sacred ceremony.
Oh yeah. It's got a
That
long
one.
name.
uh,
Mana.
Phenomena. The Mapuche cosmology actually divides existence into realms.
Oh.
There's the Wainu Mapu, which
Okay.
is the upper world, and home of benevolent spirits and deities.
Well, that's
And
nice.
then there's, the next one is Neg Mapu, which is the earthly world and inhabited by humans, animals, and spirits. And then the Minchi or Minch Mapu, which is the underworld and associated with darkness, the dead, and malevolent entities.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Creepy.
They also had a little bit about death in the afterlife. So the Mapuche believe in an afterlife where spirits journey to the Wenu Mapu, and funeral rites can involve placing offerings alongside the deceased for their journey, performing prayers and chants to ensure a peaceful passage, and sometimes burying the dead with their belongings, reflecting a belief in continued existence beyond death. Which I think those are all pretty common in a lot of places.
It does seem to be. I just don't like it when they kill a living animal or companion to go with them.
Oh, yeah. Like
That can
people's
be
pets
extreme.
and stuff.
Yeah. You're like,
Yeah.
oh no. Yeah.
Yeah. As I said, their core spiritual belief is in duality, where good and evil, life and death, and order and chaos all coexist in balance. Yeah. There's the... Oh my god. Never know how to pronounce words that start with NG. Nenshen. I'm gonna say Nenshen.
I know, I feel like I
Wenshen,
super
maybe?
exaggerate it when I have to say Lupita Ngongo or whatever. Her last name
Yeah.
is like that. But we try. And then trying, you know what? I think that's all you can do. People appreciate that when you
Yeah, I'm
try to
gonna
speak
say
their language.
Nenshen. Nenshen is the supreme deity and the most revered deity in the Mapuche belief. They're regarded as the creator and protector of the people, and they govern all aspects of life, ensuring harmony between the natural and supernatural realms, and embody the four aspects of the cosmos: the sky, the earth, the water, and the air, and the overseeing of humanity and the natural world.
He's Captain Planet. Earth, wind, water, fire. Heart. Or whatever it was.
The Nenshen is sometimes depicted as a singular god and other times as a fourfold entity, which I've never heard of before, embodying different aspects of existence. So there's the Fucha, which is the old man, the Kushi, which is the old woman, the Wenumapu, Wenumapu spirit, which is the heavenly being, and the Nagmapu spirit, which is the earthly being. Yeah.
They're old or they're earthly.
Yeah. Getting into some of the spiritual beings and deities. First off, we have the Pilan, who are powerful ancestral spirits. Ancestral spirits of deceased ancestral leaders and warriors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
And they reside in the Wanu Mapu, which is like the like heavenly kind of
realm.
Yeah, like heavenly realm. And they act as intermediaries between the living and the divine, and are associated with natural forces such as storms, volcanoes, and earthquakes.
Oh, that's cool. I'm already thinking of Maui from or yeah, Moana. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh wait, not the exact same culture. But okay.
No, but I feel like
Southern Hemisphere.
everything's everything's definitely more rooted in like nature and um
That stuff is
like
very
natural
cool.
disaster type things.
Yeah, the stuff that comes up through like the indigenous people's legends and lore is like so closely tied to nature and stuff. It's yeah, I very much think that's cool.
Yeah. Um the what Oh my god, I'm probably gonna pronounce it differently than I did before. Wakufi. Uh they oppose the Pilan and are malevolent spirits that can bring disease, misfortune, and even death.
Ooh,
And yeah, they're often linked to sorcery and the underworld and serve as agents of chaos and destruction. So again, kind
ooh,
of um like the
harbinger of doom.
duality.
Oh,
Yeah, but like the two opposing forces that kind of go back and forth.
yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. You gotta have a like. I don't know if you can, yeah, I'd call it a balance, but it's a duality. Without darkness, there is no light. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
The Dumbledore saying.
And next is the Antu, who's the god of the sun and one of the
Oh,
most important celestial entities. He brings warmth and light and plays an important role in agriculture and the cycle of life.
makes
Um,
sense.
yeah,
Those
he
Greek myths deal
symbolizes.
with that too, like Persephone
Yeah,
and Hades and all that. And Gordo's back. So
I know. He's just sitting beside me at least.
we don't even have a fourth wall. We just leave it open. It's a fourth window.
Antu symbolizes strength and wisdom and leadership and maintains order among the other spirits. And the Mapuche view the sun as obviously a life giving force.
Oh
And
yeah.
Antu is often invoked in prayers for like protection and guidance. So, very
Mm.
important. Just like I think the sun is the most important parts of like Aztec culture and stuff as well. Like,
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have at least a sun god.
yeah.
Egyptian, anyway. I can't name any other now, but you know, for sure.
Next is the Kayan, or I want to say like Kuyan. It's kind of spelled two different
Ooh.
ways, but it's just different spellings that they use for the same thing.
And it's
Uh,
not cayenne pepper. Okay.
no. The Kuyan is the moon goddess and governs night, water, and fertility. Well, its
Ooh.
opposition is Elki or Elchi and
Huh.
represents the earth and agriculture. And together they embody the cycles of nature and the interconnectedness of life.
Oh, hell yeah. Because she's like,
Yeah.
you're going to get wet in this stream and then you're going to get pregnant. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to plow your fields.
I'm sure
Together
that's
they
exactly what that
made a
means.
baby. uh, who knows? Because the folklore is like no less
Oh,
insane than
yeah.
the beliefs that we had before we understood how people came together to make a baby. I
Yeah,
mean,
there's some interesting ones that I ran across on the site, and I was like, okay, I can't even follow this anymore. It was,
oh really? The stories?
yeah, a couple of them that they had. Yeah, I was
Well,
like,
when
this
you
is
think
too
about
much. Like,
as like as far back as I don't know, Henry VIII and how many wives he had, thinking, oh yeah, if I just keep having more wives, I won't be the problem. It's like we did not understand. And
yeah,
before that, we were just like, we know a man and a woman come together and then a baby comes, but we think it must be all the sperm. Or like they just didn't get how it had to be both, you know?
Yeah.
Very long time. Like science has come a long way. It's so crazy the times we're living now. Oh,
Um
I
next
digress.
is the this also had two different spellings. There's like the
Okay.
almost like koi vilu or KK vilu. I think I went with KK. It was like
Might as
just
well.
more often. That's the one I saw.
Yeah,
And
I'll do that too.
Vilu. So those are like the next two kind of opposing forces.
Okay.
So one of the most significant myths in Mapuche tradition involves two great serpents. The first one is the KK Vilu, and KK means related to water, and Vilu means snake. So this is the
Okay.
KK Vilu is the water snake, and the god of water, ruler of the sea and all sea dwellers.
As long as you
They
don't
also
start going by the KK Kelsey, because that'll abbreviate
no,
very badly.
no, this is like CAI. So
Oh yeah. Like
yeah.
Turks and Caicos. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Also, I saw
Uh
someone on their registration today at my work. I was like, "You spelled Kelsey with one E. What's up with that?"
oh
It
yeah.
looked
I've
it
seen
looked strange to my eye, but I'm sure it's fine. Anyone
yeah,
that's out there that
I've
spells it
seen
that way.
SY, I've seen SIE, I've
Yeah.
seen SEA, I've seen
Oh,
SEE. Uh
oh, those
I've
last
seen
two.
a
Oh
lot.
boy. Those are gonna
Yeah.
there's a subreddit called tragedy, but it's spelled like you know how Lee is spelled like lay kind of sometimes because
Yeah.
it's like the Irish or whatever. It's all of that. It's all the let's pronounce all these silent letters and how will this baby name look? And you're like, you just named your baby anal fisting and you thought it was cool. No, it's just bad though.
Damn. Yeah. That's
It's great.
awful.
Oh, you'll hear Amanda reference it when you listen to Wine and Crime if she says, "Oh, that name is a tragedy." That's what she's talking about. It's a subreddit where names are spelled
Damn.
in a tragedy way. Yeah, it's okay. We just don't want people to name their kids like cunnilingus and I don't know. There's baby names that are banned. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and they should be.
Exactly for good reason. Oh, sorry.
Um yeah, so the KK Vilu represents chaos and destruction and can cause
Oh,
floods and disasters. And
yeah.
then its opposition is the Tren Vilu, which Tren means related to the earth.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
they're the earth serpent and they protect humanity. Or there's one story where they protected humanity by raising the land up and like changing how it was formed with its tail to prevent it from being submerged by the water from the other serpent. So
Oh.
yeah, they like moved the earth around to like create dams and that kind of stuff to like control where the water went.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Their eternal battle symbolizes the struggle between balance and destruction and reflects the Mapuche worldview of cosmic duality. All of the
Dang.
duality. Um,
Did you watch sorry, that made me think of something. The White Lotus at all or no?
no.
Okay, yeah, no, there's just someone was like, it's like we're hope and he's tragedy or something. And one of us is gonna
Oh.
win, this girl says, and I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. Um kind of how she's like talking about that way about their like relationship. Like it's
Oh.
a battle. Yeah, yeah.
Weird.
Good show though. must say.
Next is these are kind of more so like the kind of creatures that I ran across on the site that I was like, oh damn, these are don't hear about these kind of ones all the time. The first one is Cherufi.
Oh no. Are we scared to be
It's
running across this guy? Or is he cute?
I would be. No, he's
His name sounds
scary.
cute. Sounds like a cherub.
Yeah,
Like, what the hell?
Cherufi.
Oh, Cherufi? Like with the F?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. I think I heard Cherubi.
No, Cherufi. They're
Oh.
one of the nature elementals and is believed to
Oh,
inhabit
gosh.
the magma pools within Chilean volcanoes.
Oh, shit.
So it's like a volcano monster. And
With liquid hot magma, as Dr. Evil would say.
it is.
No!
It's responsible for volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, and it's feared for its ability to cause natural disasters, and people often make offerings to it to keep it happy.
Oh, damn. Okay.
This creature is said to have formed in the Earth's belly, and then is like as old as the Earth's belly, and
Oh
made
my
of
gosh.
fire and stone with unfathomable power. That's really hard to say. Unfathomable. It cannot be fathomed.
I am
Whatever they say on
Legion!
Megamind.
Yeah.
I'm without fathom.
Oh, so the Hollow Earth. No. Okay, he's
Yeah.
old as shit. He's in the earth. And
Yeah, so he made me
it's
think
hot.
of the picture they had was basically like a, I don't know, like a lava kind of rock monster, but it really
Okay, yeah,
looked
yeah.
like what's the rock from Fantastic Four? Like what's that character's name?
He's
I should have looked it up.
yeah. He's the fuck. No, when you said it, I was like, no, I know
Is
what
he
she's
just
gonna
like
ask.
Thing? Isn't it? Is he just like the
Is it the
Thing or
Thing?
some shit? Like what's his name? Are you gonna
Babe.
ask Pat?
Yes. The Fantastic Four rock guy is the Is it the Thing? God, why does that seem like wrong? Because it makes me think of that horror movie. Thank you. Thank you, Marvel expert. Yes, it is the Thing. I
was right.
No, you were right, and I kind of
Um,
thought that too, but then I was like, is that just that horror
well, then
movie where the shapeshifter
I
thing?
kept
Never
thinking of
mind.
the Addams Family, and like, but I always think like Thing and
Yes,
Cousin It and everybody, and I was like, am I confusing things? But
I
it kind
know.
of think that,
Name,
but
like
instead
rock
of
guy or
like,
something.
yeah, the outside is kind of rocky, but underneath that would be like flowing lava, I
Yeah,
guess, like underneath the surface, but the surface is kind of more stony. That's kind of what the pictures looked like.
yeah,
Um,
totally. That's what he sounds like. I can picture that for sure.
Yeah. Physically, it's described as a humanoid of huge proportions with a body of shifting magma and rock. Its eyes are said to be flames and have a constant stream of molten rock that's said to flow from its mouth. So just like "Mah," that that cat like vomiting rainbow meme where it's just like "Mah,"
I was
but
just
it's
gonna say it's huge, like my ego, huge. Anyway, I'm fine. Yeah, like okay, yeah, he's totally vomiting. Nyan cat,
yeah.
or whatever it's called. Yeah. Oh god.
It said that it can control other elements as well, including wind and water to some extent,
Alrighty
but
then.
not very well. And it is bound to its volcanic home and can't go too far away from it for extended periods of time because it needs the heat and the pressure of the Earth's interior to maintain its form and its power.
Well, hot damn.
Oh, hot
He's
damn.
not able to survive. without the
No.
trope of his Earth's
Um,
core.
and I did run across it said that if like volcanoes go dormant, and stuff, it will kind of like disappear, and then when it like reawakens the volcano, then it'll come back. So
Oh, he's tied to it. Okay.
Next, this one I thought you would get a kick out of because it scared me. All I could see was the name and then the picture of it, and I was like, well, I need to click on that because that looks fucked up.
Yeah. This is an acid dream.
This is the Chon Chon.
Oh,
It's
never heard of
a
it.
Yeah, I never heard of her. It's a shapeshifter known to transform from a human into a large flying head with feathers.
Oh no. Okay, yeah. I no, I don't know that one, I don't think, but I feel like the flying head thing came up in some other Latin
Yeah.
folklore where I was like, why do they think that all witches just turn into like a big giant head or something?
Yeah, this is like kind of creepy. It's
Oh yeah.
capable of evil magic and embodies evil and darkness, often appearing at night to perform malevolent acts.
In the
And its
sky, like the
fear,
dark mark.
yeah.
Seriously.
It's feared by humans and considered an omen of evil, and encounters with the creature may result in misfortune or death. It's said to originate from the darker dimensions of human sorcery and ancestral knowledge.
Hmm.
Oh, Gordo just went, ah. Just had a little kitty snore, but his eyes
Oh,
are still open.
I did not catch that.
I in this story, a human, often a powerful sorcerer, undergoes a revolting transformation, chanting these words in order to sever their head from their body, but instead the head sprouts feathers and which grant it the ability to fly, and then it like flies away. Their head just flies away. Uh
Fly away. All right.
One tale tells of a shaman who uncovered the secret incantations to summon the Chon Chon. He
John
chanted the words
John.
aloud. Chon Chon!
That's how we call rain for supper. Rain, supper.
Yeah. He chanted the words aloud in his hut, and instead of summoning the creature, his head, too, detached from his body, sprouted feathers, and flew
Oh.
away while screeching into the night. So he didn't so much summon the creature as become one himself. Dun,
What
dun,
happens to the
dun.
bodies? They just fall down.
So, I do have that a little later on. The Chon Chon has many abilities, allowing it to perform acts of great evil, including
Oh,
curses that can rot the soil and
oh
hexes that
no.
can corrupt the mind. And stories passed down suggest that the creature cannot bear the sound of sacred hymns or chants, and that these are believed to
Okay.
disrupt its powers and force it back into a human form, because it like looks human and then it transforms into the head thing.
Right.
It
A
did say that
giant
you can
shrieking
reverse.
head.
Yeah. It did say that you can reverse your transformation into a Chon Chon. And to do that, before dawn, the sorcerer must chant the incantations in reverse in order to reattach their head to their body before the first light of the morning, or they will remain a Chon Chon forever.
Oh no, it's like the
So,
Animorphs. You can't stay in the animal
yeah.
too long.
I think it's just the first day. Like, you literally have, because you
Oh.
do it at night, and then if before the sun rises you haven't fixed it, you're done. Like, you just have the first night to
Huh.
fix it. Um,
Wow. Okay.
So the Chon Chon serves as a cautionary fable warning of the perils of dabbling in powers better left untouched.
Oh,
Yeah.
God damn it. We're just too
Um,
curious for that.
right? Yeah. I'll put I should have taken the pictures off the site because they had some good ones for those two. They looked very creepy, and they also had some other creatures that looked kind of interesting.
Oh, so many I saw on the one
Um,
website. I think it was Book of
yeah.
Creatures. Sorry.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
The last thing I wanted to talk about, which I thought was kind of nice, and I think you find quite often in like indigenous groups, is like, I know we have it in like here in Canada, we call it like two spirit
Mm.
kind of thing, and that's people that don't necessarily identify as like male or female.
Right. As kind of like a
Yeah.
specific to an indigenous tribe's
Yeah.
like way of thinking of it. Right. Yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah.
Yeah. And on Wikipedia they had like a little thing, which is how I ran into it in the first place, and then I found a nice like article that was talking about like a recent kind of study they did on the Mapuche people, which I wanted to talk about. Was kind of cool. So from
Okay.
Wikipedia, they had it assigned as like co-gender views. And they said among the Mapuche in Chile, they have the female Machi, which are the female shamanesses. That's so hard to say, shamanesses. And
I once you've got female on it, why do we have to add the S's on it? Like
right,
princesses. Yeah, to me I'm just like female.
shamanesses,
Say female shaman, I'll know what you mean. I
right?
won't
Yeah.
think you're being like a broski being like the way females think, you know? Like I get it.
Yeah, so they can have female machi and then male machi, but they also
Okay.
have male machi y, I think you'd say, shamans who are actually male machi shamans who wear female clothing. Um
Oh.
and
And
the
nobody drinks
machi,
matcha because I hate that
no,
shit.
this is
All
machi.
right. Fair
Uh
enough.
like
I'm
mochi
so sorry.
matcha machi. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know how it's spelled. I'm just like, I am gonna forget all of this. If I have to go and do the show notes, I'm gonna be like, Kelsey! How the hell do
Senpai
you
sosa.
spell what you like? Yeah, what the fuck were you talking about? How did you spell it? I swear I was
Machi
listening.
is machi, machi, like mochi but with an A. Um yeah.
Okay, wait. Okay.
So the machi y, so the ones that were the female clothing, were first described by the Spanish, who like had contact with them back in
Okay.
1673, so a long ass time ago,
Yeah.
in a land far, far away. And obviously there was a lot of negative connotations coming from the Spanish that like encountered it and called them like deviants and all this stuff. I mean, take it with a grain of salt, but wanted to mention that they were
Yeah.
documented, at least going back to 1673. So it's not, everybody likes to argue that people that are like transgender, people that aren't conforming to a gender or something
All
new,
right.
and everything that's happened within the last, I don't know, 15, 20
Yeah.
years, like it's something that's come out of nowhere, and it's obviously not. So
Right.
learn some
Or that
history.
it's trending is probably
Yeah,
inaccurate.
exactly, like a trendy whatever.
Mm. I know. I
Yeah.
tried to give Miss Rowling a grain of salt when she wrote her first piece, and then everyone's like transphobic, and I'm like, Yeah, especially when you double down on
Yeah.
things like, "Oh, recent
Hmm.
court rulings are amazing," and you're like,
Yeah, her doubling
"Oh,
down and
oh
like,
no."
uh,
I
yeah,
know,
that.
because I've not been one to be like, every time I mention this book, I have to like dump on the author." But then I'm like, "Oh no, you just go make
Yeah,
yourself look worse, didn't you?"
yeah. Um, yeah. So, on the Wikipedia one, it said among the Mapuche, quote, the spirits. So like the shamans invite
Oh,
spirits
sorry.
to kind of like possess their body type things. So these spirits are the
Oh.
ones that are like changing them from like male to female, based on what the spirit is.
Mm.
Kind of is how I looked at it. Um, so it said, quote, the spirits are interested in Machi's gender discourses and performances, not in the sex under the Machi's clothes. So that's
Uh-huh.
kind of what I got from that. It also had another little thing later on that said, in attracting the Filu, which is the possessing spirit, quote, both male and female Machi become spiritual brides who seduce and call their Filu. Um, oh, must have scored. Yeah.
No, no, I think we're under attack. No, I think
Uh,
the Oilers just scored.
uh, um, and call their Filu at once husband and master to possess their heads. So like
Oh.
possess their minds. I don't know. Yeah. So I
Huh.
didn't quite understand what Wikipedia meant. Um, but I
Ugh,
did
whoever
find,
does.
right, and it was like this two little paragraph thing at like the very end of the Wikipedia page, and
Pardon me.
um so I ended up
Yeah.
finding some stuff. There was like this big study that the Natural History Museum actually did.
Hmm.
Um and this was where they took a look. It was like a limited series on some of the world's third gendered or gender indigenous people like around the world. So they
Oh.
did like, um I think I saw like three different indigenous groups, and the
Huh.
Mapuche people were one of them. So I just went on to their page that they had about them.
Okay, maybe they did like
um
three different tribes or something. Sorry. Yeah.
I think so, yeah. And this was um like I think one thing said that somebody had been studying them for like 15 years or something. So
Oh.
yeah. um so for what the Natural History Museum had, it said the gender binary system that exists within many Western societies is far from a universal concept. In fact, numerous indigenous communities around the world do not conflate gender and sex. Rather, they
Right.
recognize a third or more genders within their societies. And individuals that identify as a third gender many times have visible and socially recognizable positions within their societies, and are sometimes thought to have unique or supernatural power that they can access
Mm.
because of their gender identity.
Interesting.
Um,
I don't think I knew
yeah.
that part.
Um, I know that people that identify like within Canada as two-spirit are often like revered within the community. Like it's something
Huh.
that's like sacred, and like you're kind of viewed at like a higher um place in society.
That's interesting,
Um
though, because like it
yeah.
reminds me of the sort of I don't read a lot of quote unquote books that could be viewed as like necessarily new age or self-helpy, but like I do go back to the Celestine prophecy a lot because it just has a lot of good like it's like oh it's a guy on an adventure to almost find like the 10 spiritual commandments or something. It's kind of like
Hmm.
just got some good stuff in it like old growth forests have like wonderful energy and let's connect to that instead of stealing energy from each other when we talk to each other and like I don't know,
Yeah.
very cool shit like that. I'm like, oh, and they're like I don't know, I don't that kind of reminded me of that and um now I'm kind of losing my train of thought. So,
Oh.
but like, I don't know, something about the energy and because like the connecting to both like the masculine and the feminine energy that like you possess or
Mm.
something like is kind of very important. I don't know. So I think it was something like
Yeah.
that made me think of it. Very cool.
Yeah. Um yeah, I'll see. I might not read all of what it had, but I liked this beginning
Yeah.
part. It continued saying, however, as European influence and westernized ideologies began to spread and were in many cases forced upon indigenous societies,
Hmm.
third genders diminished along with so many other indigenous cultural traditions.
Huh.
Nevertheless, the cultural belief and acceptance of genders beyond a binary system still exist in traditional societies around the world, and in many cases, these third gender individuals represent continuing cultural traditions and maintain aspects of cultural identity within their communities. Um, yeah. Then it
Well,
had
that's
like
cool.
this because I hadn't really thought of this before, but um it said that within a Western and Christian ideological framework, individuals who identify as a third gender are often thought of as part of the LGBTQ community, but this
Okay.
classification actually distorts the concept of a third gender and reflects a culture that historically recognizes only two genders based on a sex assigned at birth, male or female,
Right.
and anyone acting outside the cultural norms of their sex may be classified as homosexual, genderqueer, or transgender,
Right,
among other
because if you
classifications.
were like identified as both genders, then you can't be like, oh, I like the same sex or same gender because you identify as both. So you wouldn't be like,
Yeah,
I'm a
so
woman who just only likes women, you know? Like you're like, no, I'm just
yeah,
it's more like a
like
pansexual sort of thing.
I
I
think they're
guess.
more saying that um like the third gender thing is more like not what you're attracted to, but what you identify as. Like,
Right.
so often when people like I know in the US it's most often just like LGBTQ, but I know here in Canada we most often now like are like LGBTQIA2 plus or like two spirit because that's what it's
I've
at the
seen,
end.
yeah,
So
it
that's there.
included. Even if
Yeah. So
even if
like
you shorten it because you don't like can't remember all the acronym, which is part of what makes
yeah.
it hard when they make it kind of clunky like that. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think I get what
So I
you're
think
saying.
that's what this
Yeah.
is saying, that it should be more separate because if you're like lumping
Mhm.
them in with like lesbian, gay, like bisexual,
Right.
transgender, queer, that's not really what that means. Where like in Canada we have like the 2 plus, which is the two spirit we have um
Yeah.
for like indigenous in Canada, which I thought was interesting. It kind of made me understand why that was like added more so than I would have before. Um
And I'm just trying to like kind of think, yeah, maybe I'm not understanding it correctly. Like it's less about who you love in relation to whether or not you identify as the same gender or a different one, but it's more just about
yeah.
who you are and that you
Yeah,
can
because
love whoever you want or whatever. Because they didn't really think of in
yeah,
terms of like gay and straight, like a lot of times back then, you know?
yeah, they did have another thing. It said in societies that recognize a third gender, the gender classification is not based on sexual identity, but rather on
Hmm.
gender identity and spirituality, and that individuals who identify with a cultural third gender are in fact acting within their gender or sex norm. So like,
Okay. Because like gender
yeah.
identity and sexual identity are different, is what they're kind of
Yeah. So like lumping
emphasizing.
the third gender or like people that are two spirit together with like um the different
Members of
sexual
the
identities doesn't necessarily make
Yeah, the queer
sense.
community, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um then they had like a
Yeah, it can
nice
be tough to
thing.
sort of think about sometimes, but like I think I get that. Like,
Yeah, but then they
how
had
you
like a nice
identify as a
thing.
person doesn't have to be tied up in like who you're sexually attracted to, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, because like people can be like trans and that's what they identify as, but that doesn't necessarily like they can be trans and then also be gay, or they can be trans and be straight, but that doesn't
Yeah.
really affect like who they are, right?
Yeah, and you
Like
don't have to put yourself even into almost a specific category like that,
yeah.
which is yeah, it can be a tough concept to like wrap your head around because we
Yeah, that's
aren't
why I
brought
liked
up with
this,
it
how
as
like
yeah.
the natural history one had more information, and I liked that they like talked
Yeah.
about that, and then they talked about the acronym and how that's not necessarily like okay to classify them as part of that group. And I was like, oh, okay, like that's interesting. um and then they did
Yeah, I
have a
thought they
little
kind of
bit.
seemed to lump that in with the acronym, the two spirit. They were like, just
Yeah, here
throw it
in
on the
Canada
end
we've
there.
added it, but like I think in other places around the
Yeah,
world it's still like
yeah,
probably just under the classification as like queer or something. But
yeah,
um
yeah. I think we just need to keep
yeah.
it a little simple because the problem is the people that care enough to keep it, like really accurate is not always the people that we need to reach about it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Um
yeah,
but they had just a bit more I wanted to
yeah.
because this was more specific to the Mapuche people. Because again, they have like the duality kind of thing. So this was talking about how some indigenous societies have co-gendered individuals that take on the role of shaman or healer, and that these individuals can go between earthly and spiritual worlds, and in many cases
Mm.
can flow between genders, which is among the Mapuche people in southern Chile and adjacent areas in Argentina, where Machi or shaman are considered religious authorities capable of balancing the Mapuche cosmos. The Mapuche or the Machi gender is determined by their identity and spirituality, not by sex assigned at birth. And this fluidity of gender is what provides them the ability to interact with the spiritual realm.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
then it talked about like some different things that um, Mapuche like has as kind of like symbols type things. So I didn't want to get into all that, but had a nice little thing that said drawing on anthropologist Anna Marielle Basigalipo. Oh my god. Her 15 years of field research, shamans of the Foy tree, gender power and healing among the Chilean Mapuche, is the first study to follow shamans' gender identities and performance in a variety of ritual, social, sexual, and political contexts. And it
Well,
said to Mapuche shamans or Machi, the Foy tree is one of special importance not only for its medicinal qualities, but also because of its hermaphroditic flowers, which
oof.
help reflect the gender shifting components of the Machi healing practices. So it's like, more information on that, please, but then there wasn't really. Um, so
I was like, that reminds me of a Smashing Pumpkins lyric, I feel like, but maybe. Never mind.
I was like, that's
Okay.
interesting. So they have like a tree that's also kind of shifts between um like genders. There's a few plants that do that, I feel like.
Oh,
But
yeah. Yeah, and
yeah,
animal
I was like, that's
species that
kind of
have a
cool.
more fluid ability, like chickens, I believe.
Yeah.
When they don't have like a rooster and stuff like that, they can
And
do
seahorses.
things.
Isn't it seahorses? And
Oh, it could be.
clownfish. I think clownfish also do it.
Oh, really? Okay,
Because
yeah,
they're
yeah,
like,
yeah. I'm not
oh,
as
Finding
familiar with
Nemo.
those
The whole time
ones.
he's looking for
Oh,
his dad, but his
dad.
dad is now his mom because the mom died. So the dad became the mom.
Wait, wasn't he with his? Oh yeah. Well, he reunites with his
Yeah,
dad. So what
yeah,
happened
but
to
they
his
say
mom?
like so the mom died right after she like released the eggs. So
Okay.
like I think before he was ever even born or something, the mom died, which if I'm remembering correctly means that his dad would have became his mom, so he the whole time he should have been looking for his mom
Oh,
because
see,
he
I don't
doesn't have a
remember
dad
the
anymore.
details exactly. I thought he remembered both parent fish
No,
at
like they
once,
don't
but
cover it. They don't cover it in Finding Nemo, but like in real clownfish, that's what would have happened.
oh, okay.
They don't cover it in Finding Nemo
Just so I don't get all
because
my
that's too
sources from
complex
Finding
for an
Nemo.
early 2000s Disney movie or
It's all
Pixar.
I can handle right now.
But no, I was like, in our trying times where they're taking away people's rights and all that shit, I was like, just
Oh,
wanted to remind people that uh
that
I don't
what?
know, the transgender people or people that are non-conforming have been around for
Mhm.
hundreds of years, and some
Mm,
politicians can
yeah.
fuck off. Maybe open a
Yeah.
history book. Maybe learn something about somewhere else in the world that doesn't, I don't know, expand your worldview. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. It's sad when you have to prove your existence to people through
Right?
algorithms that just want to fight your right to exist, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
But the rest of us are like, yeah, we know. We've seen the gay
Right? We
penguins.
knew.
Wait, what?
We knew. Yeah.
This is not
Yeah.
news. No, no, no. Not that. No,
I
it's interesting though. It's very interesting. Yeah.
yeah. We will have the I'll get the pictures of the creatures from the website because they were kind of fun, and I'll put that up. I should have done it so Alanna could see them when I was telling them about them because they're kind of fun, but
Oh
I
no, we're gonna
forgot.
have some fun with the one where we try to figure out who's like the ugliest scripted and the prettiest. Is there
Yeah,
are some pictures. I found a good
there's some
website where I was like,
creepy ones.
oh, yeah, I love seeing a good artist rendition of like this crazy creature that I'm like, that looks
Yeah,
insane. Yeah.
Did you know one of the few things that Nostradamus correctly predicted was his own death? Did you know that only one professional baseball player has been killed while playing the game? What about the fact that one of the most poignant last words ever were spoken by a parrot? Each week on Famous Last Words, we'll examine some of the final thoughts of some of the most fascinating people in history. From presidents to murderesses, from business innovators to teen pop icons. That's Famous Last Words, part of the Darkcast network, available right now wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back. We're so back. I was going to ask my friend at work who speaks Spanish
yeah.
just so I know how is this word pronounced. Nope, did not do it. Good.
It's
apparently
hard because even
apparently I
if you
couldn't have
do
been bothered.
ask, how would you remember? I would not remember. I
I
need to
was
listen
gonna
to the
ask
same.
yesterday. You're right. And
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
listened to the video on how to pronounce Mapuche like 17 times, even though I had decided that that was probably how I was going to pronounce it. And every time it was like, yeah, so that was like exactly how I was going to pronounce it. And then 10 minutes later, I'd be like, wait, how is it pronounced? That
just
was
when I
in an
think you're
endless
done
cycle.
saying Mapuche, you hit
Mapuche.
me with it again. No, I know. I was gonna ask my friend Anna, like, you're from El Salvador. You speak so much of the Spanish. It's from you that I know it's El Drogas. Because some words are just
Well,
literally, sound like
oh, yeah.
drugs, El Drogas, or whatever.
Oh yeah, that wasn't me 10 minutes before we
Oh,
started
sorry.
recording me googling is Spanish phonetic? Is Spanish considered a phonetic language? Can I just sound out these words? And they're like,
Maybe.
it's sort of considered phonetic. I was like, okay, cool. So let's wing it.
Ask the
So
people
bad.
that say I would like a chicken vagina.
Vagina.
No, I don't.
Uh,
Okay. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, because this one starts with a V, and it has a J in it, so that's why I didn't know if it was the Veyetos. But that doesn't matter. It's not the cryptid's name. It's just a name for the word old folks.
Oh no.
Okay, I am bringing to you the duende, which is of Latin America, basically.
Oh.
He's all over the place. Okay, I don't know how to say that. So the the old folks in western Honduras, especially in Copan, Reunas, tell of a being called the El Duende, the goblin, one might say.
Ooh. Dobby from Harry Potter?
I hope so, but also I
Or
apologize to all the Spanish
trolls
speakers.
from the trolls from Green Gods?
Yes. Yeah, not trigger warning, but content warning and language warning for the pronunciation for all the Spanishy stuff. But the El Duende is referred to often as an evil being.
Ooh.
It is said that he is a little dark-skinned man of very short stature, always dressed in an elegant green suit, and always wearing a big hat or sombrero.
Aw, he sounds like a leprechaun.
You know what? When I looked up El Duende movies, because I was trying to double check what movies have been made, literally Leprechaun came up with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. Yes.
He is a Spanish leprechaun. You are correct.
Yeah. They're after me, Lucky Charms.
Oh, it's so funny though. Like, oh, there's so many overlapping stories and so much lore. Oh,
Yeah. The
he can
short
appear
green
about.
suit, he's a leprechaun.
Oh, it's the green suit. That's right.
Yeah.
I did start out with that, didn't I? Well, there's a lot of different descriptions, so you just wait. There's some that are a
Okay.
little different, but we'll see. He's definitely usually very short. He or she, speaking of um gender and like non-binary and such, like they say they can be male or female. Um, but either way, they're probably going to be wearing like a large hat. So
Nice.
there's often like a goblin like vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
They might prank you, move your boots, put your bed on the roof, get you lost. Just all those little
Yeah.
pranks that everyone loves.
Yeah.
Um Okay. One story. Once El Duende tried to persuade a boy to follow him into the woods. While the boy's parents gathered food, El Duende altered his appearance to look like a human child. Left alone with only a dog to play with, the boy welcomed El Duende and readily played with him. Let's play horse, suggested El Duende. I'll be the horse and you be the rider. The boy got on his back and El Duende headed away from the house. The boy's dog suddenly growled and barked. Then the dog bit El Duende in the behind.
Oh no.
The goblin yelped and reverted to his natural form. Shocked and scared, the boy raced back into his house and was more cautious of strangers in the future.
And not
Cautionary
getting
tale.
on their back.
Talking to little fucking what do they call them? Degens. Not those degens from a country. But like as far as lore goes, he's kind of one of those creatures that's tricksy. He can be bad or good. He's a lot of places are like he's helping children. Other places they're like no,
What?
he's hurting them,
Helping them get lost in the woods.
Yeah, it's mostly the lost in the woods. He's tricksy. Oh god, don't even get me started. Even the the etymology of the word. A couple sources said that duende meant like a goblin. Others said maybe more like an elf. And
Yeah.
I was gonna say caution, like still others, if you just kind of search the word, it's almost like I got some like travel websites. I was
What?
like, yeah, I don't know if that word also means diabolical elves and getaways with wineries. It was weird.
Huh. Interesting.
God damn it, my Spanish was good. I think I got a 90 something in high school, but that was a long time ago, y'all. It's been a
I never
while.
took Spanish.
Oh, it was fun,
My
but
my
it
high
depends,
school
right?
didn't offer it. It was only in my
Really?
middle school that they did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, because they're big on French here, but I had gone to French immersion, so I don't know if I thought, oh, Spanish will be easy, you know?
Yeah, we
Uh,
had French, we had German, and we had Japanese. That was our only options.
really? German and
Yeah.
Japanese, I do not remember being an option for me. That sounds like exotic.
Yeah.
That's cool. Look at us, Alberta.
Right? I would have much rather learned like sign language. Like I regret not ever having the opportunity to take classes to learn sign
True.
language because I feel like that would be most beneficial to
Oh
me,
yeah, that's true.
but
Like I get a lot of ads for that now and stuff on like Instagram, and then I'm also like, yeah, like obviously there's people that speak different languages that you come across when you work at different stores, but like I also came across deaf people and some of them were regulars, and I was like, gosh, I kind of wish I knew a little bit more so we didn't have to do like the
yeah.
whole like writing on a notepad kind of thing is usually how she or they got around. I can't remember, but yeah.
Yeah, at least at my job now, it's like retail, it's not too hard, but yeah, definitely with my last job, like when you're trying to explain
Yeah.
stuff and you're with the same person for like an hour, it's a lot easier to communicate if there's different ways, but
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Without the language barrier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so the lore is a little tricksy as well. Let's get into what some sources say. According to this one, they appear only to single women on remote roads and rural villages. Rural juror.
What?
No. I know. What the fuck is their
Why?
problem?
It just said that they lured that kid away. But that's not a
I
single
know.
woman. Makes no sense. Your story is not consistent.
Yes, yes, because there are some sources that say only kids can see us, and then they're like, but then we appear to single women.
Only single lonely women in your
Yeah,
area.
fuck you.
Single lonely women in your area can see the whatever.
Or the single men. um, yes, this same source did say that they appeared underneath the nonce trees, which is a shrub native of Costa Rica, El Salvador, Honduras, Mexico, and Nicaragua, and it's related to the plant family Malpighiaceae, which produces a delicious yellow fruit about the size of the fruit of a coffee bean.
Oh.
Wow, the rest of my in brackets, because I had double brackets, was or when women are alone in their houses.
Coffee beans?
Because
No,
the
I'm
first
kidding.
part, yeah, appear only to single women. What am I saying?
Coffee beans?
Oh my god. Also, I can't thank you enough for being my gateway gal to getting me into Parks and Rec and The Office, and then I'm listening to Smartless Pod, and they introduced me to
And
Amy.
then
Like they have Amy Poehler
you
on, and they're
you
all
watch
laughing.
so many of the episodes, you make all the references, and you're like, you
Oh
you
yeah,
remember that? And I go, no.
that's true.
I remember
I did
none
that
of
earlier, and
this.
you're like, no.
I don't
I get it. I
remember
have
that
no
reference.
memory.
It's so funny. It's
Oh,
so funny. You're like, remember that in Friends? Remember that in Seinfeld? The Office? Parks and Rec? This? That? Good Place? No? Like, no.
Oh, you know what? The Office is, I have watched that a lot of times. Get at me, Billie Eilish. Let's go. Let's do a Trivial Pursuit now.
I think I've watched the first couple seasons more than once, but I have not gotten further than that more than once.
Hey, I've like quoted you being like, "Hey, if you can get through the first season of something, it cannot be not that bad."
Yep.
Ugh, okay. Sorry, refilling. All right. This get okay. The lore gets a little weird, and a little. It stays a little heteronormative. Let's say, with the duende or guys trying to get the girl. I don't know. In this place, Copan, they are seen as promiscuous playboys or enamorado, which like amora, love. And they might offer many gifts to girls or gays or they bees or who knows. I'm just updating the nomenclature. But they're trying to lure you away, so beware.
Don't fall for it.
Quote, if a girl does not recognize the duende and accepts anything he offers her, then she will remain enchanted by the evil powers of the duende. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh.
Yeah, this was also a weird quote. It is said that because of the tricks of the duende, some girls have become mute and even mentally impaired. That
What?
explains this brain. Yeah, I don't know.
Is that why girl math? I'm so tired of all the girl whatever, girl dinner,
Ugh,
girl math.
yes.
Now there's girl measuring things where you just measure something but you don't have a measuring tape, so you just like put, if it's smaller than your finger, you put your finger against the one side and then you mark it with like permanent marker, and then you go to the store with your finger and you like see if you can measure shit. I'm like, what are we doing? Are we
Okay,
insane?
if I'm gonna cut something in my house, yes, finger measure it. But what the fuck? That's just insulting. I
was literally watching something. I don't even have TikTok.
Bullshit.
I don't know why this got recommended to me, but it literally
because
said
you have
next
Instagram and other shit.
it said finger measuring, and I watched a girl measure the depth of her drawers so she could buy clear organizing containers, and she did it by putting her finger in and then marking her finger and then going to the store and putting her finger in different clear bins to see which one was too deep to fit in her drawer. I was like, what is happening right now? Like,
oh, so there's nothing
can't.
she marked. It was a depth.
Yeah, it was the depth.
You just
so she
plunge
could just
your
like
finger down and I'm trying to.
yeah, she literally like put her finger in the drawer and then drew a line.
She finger
on her
banged
finger
the
in,
drawer. Like, okay, and then she
drew a line about how deep it was, and then she went to the store and fingered everything. But I was like
that
what?
guy
And then
that on Live Last Larceny was just putting shit up his kilt butt and then putting it back down again. What is wrong with you, sir?
Or I watched somebody that was like, I'm measuring my house for a new couch, and they were literally standing against the wall with their arms spread out and then like Mission Impossible style just like going and like rolling down the wall and like measuring it by telling how many times from their arm span they could do, and we're like, it's like 2.5 arm spans. And I was like, what? How are you measuring your furniture this way to try and decorate your new house? Like, what are we doing?
Not medieval times. Like, measuring horses in hands just came because people didn't have measuring shit, but now we do.
Like, this is insane. It was so ridiculous. I was like, oh my god, I hate this the most. Because, yeah, girl dinner was basically charcuterie. I want to eat cheese and crackers for dinner, too. Let's do it.
Yes,
but
that's the least offensive of the ones that you could consider girl whatever. Because I'm like, sometimes you just don't, that's just like, you just don't have wherewithal to cook a whole supper. And even with
sometimes
3 people
you're broke
in our house.
and you don't have, You
Yeah.
don't have anything to combine for dinner? I'm gonna eat some cold cuts and cheese, and I'm gonna have
God
a
damn it,
handful
I
of
don't
grapes.
want to make a dinner. I don't care if I have a child in the house. Yeah, sometimes just like you hope someone else makes a
Yeah.
balanced dinner, but if not, like what the fuck ever. But you're not just like girl dinner. Like it's just so like demeaning. I really hate
But I was
it.
like, really? Now we're doing measurements? We can't measure things properly and accurately? Now we're
Ew, yeah,
like
you can
using
pick
our
up a measuring tape, girl.
like using your finger and like using how your arm span and being like, it's 2.5 arm spans. We can fit our couch on this wall. Oh, what am I even watching?
Yeah, I'm
And
sorry
go
you
to the
guys never
store and
made
be
it
like,
to
hold on, I
metric
have to measure
system.
this by arm
Yeah,
spans.
now you've gone backwards.
Yeah, now
Oh.
you're bringing us all down with you. Because
I'm bringing caveman back. Yes.
yeah,
If the
yeah.
girls do not pay attention to the duende, then he chases them about. He throws little rocks to their windows at night and also
Oh
throws
no.
cow dung on them.
What? Okay, that came out of nowhere.
But Kelsey, answer your
Cow dung.
window. Now now I throw a cow plop at you. Yeah, who has that laying around if you're not
Doth
at a
light beyond
historical
your window
setting?
bricks. Whatever.
What plop shall fall upon your good
Bam, cow
lord?
dung.
Oh my god.
Sounds so weird.
I know, and okay, some of the rest of it, now I'm trying to remember where I got this one from because it did sound weird, like a weird. Here's some advice for you internet dating kind of segment. Well, some things say they only appear to girls, and some things say they only appear to children. And then some, it's like the trickster thing. With like, well, sometimes they help the children. Well, no, they hinder them, and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't want to meet them in a forest. Like, yeah,
Yeah. I don't want to get cow pooped.
I don't want to test this theory out whether they're going to help me or not. um. Right. So if some of the girls do not pay attention to the duende, he chases them about. He throws little rocks to their windows and also throws cow dung on them. He's very mature. It is said that if the duende appears to a girl, the best thing then she can do is remain calm, to act in a friendly way. And when her duende offers wealth to her, the girl must ask him to bring her something impossible. The most
What?
common thing is to ask the duende to bring a basket filled with water from a river. Yeah. As it is
Basket?
what?
A basket of
A
water.
basket.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like there's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza.
Yeah.
It literally says, as it is impossible to fill a basket with water, then the duende will disappear due to the frustration, and he will never return to bother the girl who requests such a gift from him. End quote.
Yeah.
They're very trickstery. Also, apparently, a man named Ivan Sanderson collected dozens of accounts from forestry department workers. Oh, I meant to ask Mom when she worked for them. I felt like she at least cleaned their buildings, if not worked for the forestry department. Who, you don't know what they do. They do forest stuff.
Yeah.
It's like my dad's job. I was like, you're an engineer? Yep. A civil engineer? Okay. A surveying engineer? What does that do? Has to do with maps? Okay. I feel like every time I feel
Yeah.
like fucking Kelso on that 70s show. He tries to understand what his dad does on this one episode. It just like makes me laugh. Sorry. Yes, so apparently this guy, Sanderson, collected dozens of accounts from forestry department workers. One allegedly from a junior forestry worker from 1961, who described in great detail two of these little creatures that he had suddenly noticed quietly watching him on several occasions near
He's a
the foot.
woman.
The Maya Mountains.
He's a single lonely woman alone at home, or a child.
That's why he's being watched. Wait, what?
Because you said they only appear to single lonely women alone in their homes or children.
Oh my
But now
god.
you just said that a man saw it. So
It's true. And the way that shit kept coming up when I was doing the research was like, here's a this and here's a sighting. But then, only women. Oh, I know. It's so conflicting. Ugh. Obviously, I'm a pedophile who's just trying to get at these children. Oh yeah, so I kind of equated that they sort of looked like a large spider monkey who's of the description.
what?
Well,
Spider monkey.
well, okay,
Spider monkey,
various
spider
articles
monkey.
said they do live in the region, which is one thing.
Spider monkeys
But
are cute.
that's true. I don't
Yeah.
disagree with you. Now I'm thinking of the ones from Madagascar, but that's the other ones.
Finger monkeys.
Anyway,
It's probably
are they?
finger monkeys. They're the ones that I always think look like spider monkeys. They're really cute
Who
and
has the
colorful.
stripy tail?
Lemurs.
Lemurs. Thank you. Thank you very much for your monkey knowledge. Okay, no, from the description, they sort of looked like a large spider monkey, said one source. They were described to have heavy shoulders, like quote unquote, large or long arms, brown hair, flat yellowish faces, long hair down the back and the neck. I don't remember if I said this. They are sometimes seen carrying or wearing a dried palm leaf like hat.
Aw,
Well,
cute.
I was gonna say actually most of the like lore has them wearing some sort of sombrero or big hat, which is kind of cute. They're like these little like garden gnomes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like less hat man, like Slender Man, and think more dwarves in a trench coat with a fedora, that kind of situation. Um, they also may have some influence from the European roots that they might have got from the Spanish sailors. So, like, they would have come from the Iberian Peninsula, like Spain and Portugal, and then gone ball pirating and stuff all over. And them and the other colonists, like, would have helped spread the legend into Latin America, which actually included, because I was looking for stuff South America specifically, but then it comes up like Latin America, so it can spread into like Central American countries and then also like as far as the Philippines and Guam. And I was like, oh my god, you Spanish fuckers
Wow.
just like yeah, they had their like fingers all over the place. And according to some legends, actually this is according to, I think I got this from Astonishing Legends, which is a podcast that is well revered and I should listen to more often. But they said that their research said only children can see the duendes. Duendes. Then they kept spelling it wrong, so now I'm going to say it wrong. But this part reminded me of the Supernatural episode. They were like, if you get a little too drunk, you might be able to see them out of the corner of your eye. And I was like, there's one episode of Supernatural where they're fighting this like Japanese spirit, and like I remember Dean has to get like drunk before he can actually see it to fight it because it's like invisible if he doesn't, and that's what that reminded me of.
Oh,
I know it's so
I do
specific.
not remember that.
It's I feel like it's very early on, but like let me tell you, Pat just was rewatching some of season 1 and like it's funny because in later seasons they'll like poke fun of themselves where they'll like talk about a season 1 episode and they're like, oh, that's shit is bad in your life, but to relive bad writing, like, oh, like they really poke fun of themselves, which it was funny. But yeah, they have one about the Wendigo, one about crazy bugs. Like, to me as a podcaster, I would not have tackled the Wendigo in the first season because it's a touchy, spiritual, very lore driven like subject. I don't know. But we've learned some things doing our podcast, I guess. I would say we've come a long way. Shit. What did I say? I don't think I have much more. No, I do not. Oh, their lore is kind of weird though. Okay, what did I say that they? Oh yeah, they may or may not harm your children. Because like, okay, yeah, this is what I have as a quote. Unlike other folklore stories, they are often used to scare or frighten away children. Duendes were seen as protectors. If a child was ever afraid or lost, children were encouraged to call out to the duendes for guidance. Although they could be both mischievous and kind towards children. But they could be both mischievous and kind towards adults. With the flip of a switch, it seems like they were always kind towards children. Like,
except when they're trying to lure them into the woods.
I was gonna say, it was one of those lores where I kept getting conflicting information.
Yeah, that's like everything.
Yeah. They love children, or they love luring children in. Like, they might be vampires. I mean, we just started watching that one From, where we're like, these people come out at night. They suck people dry and kill them crazily. Are they vampires or something like that? Like, we just don't know.
I've heard of that. That's the show, right?
It almost feels, yes, it's a show that it almost feels like Lost 2.0, because I was thinking the one guy's from Lost and they're in a mysterious place and they don't know what's happening to them and people are getting killed, and yeah, very, very cool, interesting premise for sure. Oh yeah. So just to finish creeping you out with these guys, they sometimes choose to take up residence in your residence. Like, if you have kids, they want to come live in their bedroom walls and stuff like that. That was the creepiest thing about these guys that I learned. They said, try to respect them. As long as you leave out a little treat at the end of the day and appreciate them, they'll continue to help you. One of the best ways to do that is to offer them the first bite of your food every meal. That may seem a bit difficult giving your penchant for invisibility, but simply throw the bite over your shoulder and they'll get the sign of respect.
Ew, no. That's like one surefire way to get mice in your house.
Or for me, my dog is just gonna eat. My dog's gonna eat it up anyway. Yeah. Other than that, I think they had a couple more descriptions. These duende may be wearing animal clothing, like a Dobby situation. Hi Gordo. And they may live in caves.
Hi, baby. You want a hug? You want your full hug?
Sorry, his meow is just so pathetic sometimes.
Oh, he normally hates hugs. This is a nice hug. Hi, baby.
Oh, until he's got to be the center of attention. I'm not surprised. Kitty cats.
Oh, no, he's just laying back down in my arms.
Would you believe the one podcast I listened to? She has guinea pigs and she has an actual pig named Petal.
Aw, cute.
I know, it's kind of like when people are like, "Oh, well, I'll buy one. It'll be a pot-bellied pig." You're like, "No, you are getting a pig, sir. They're fucking huge. You don't just buy them." Yeah. No, you got it okay. He's a pretty good guy when he wants to be. Okay. Oh yeah. So with these duendes, if you throw them a bite of your meal over your shoulder, you're probably okay, because they're going to see that sign of respect and leave you alone for a while. Just so you know.
Nice.
They may also wear animal skin clothing. I'm also picturing Dobby. Oh God, excuse me. They also may live in caves or forests or the walls of your child's bedroom, which is probably the worst.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, don't do that. Please don't do that. I don't know how to get them out. They have some generic advice, which we'll get to, because they may appear with a beard or a cane or missing some phalanges, as in some thumbs up. Anyone? Yeah, for some reason they might not have thumbs, according to some folklore. The Central American country of Belize, it said, particularly amongst the country's African island Caribbean? Yeah, descended Creole and Garifuna populations, duendes are thought of as forever spirits called Tata Duende who lack thumbs. So they have hands, but they don't have thumbs, which seems even weirder than, like, The Simpsons or something. And but this has been documented on a few places, which is weird. The Yucatec Maya of Belize and southeast Mexico have duendes such as Alex and Nucux? Tat? Now I feel exactly as you did trying to sound these things out.
Yep.
They are seen as guardian spirits of the forest, and in Belize, you can try to hiding your thumbs in the palms of your hands to trick them into thinking that you are a kindred spirit. So you can just be like, I don't have thumbs. Don't worry about me.
I'm one of you.
I'm one of you. I do not have stars upon theirs, as Dr. Seuss would put it. In the Hispanic folklore of Mexico and the American Southwest, duendes are known as gnome-like creatures who live inside the walls of homes. They're gnomes in homes, especially in the bedroom walls of young children. Oh. They attempt to clip the toenails of unkempt children, often leading to the mistaken removal of entire toes.
Nope.
Thank you, Wikipedia. That was the one place I found that, and I was like, that is, yeah. I thought that would get a reaction. Why? Why do you have to clip my toenails?
Bringing back nightmares I had still to this day, where my mom said
torso
that
woman?
my brother wouldn't let my mom cut his toenails when he was a young kid. So really? She would wait until he went to sleep, and she would clip his toenails while he was sleeping. Like, she'd turn the blankets up from the bottom and then clip his toenails. Nightmares.
It does sound like a horror movie. In some sort of way.
The thought. I hate people touching my feet, but the thought of somebody touching my feet while I'm sleeping.
Yes.
In bed.
Anything in your sleep is a violation. I saw a thing on Reddit earlier that was like, am I overreacting? My friend gave me a bunch of hickeys after I fell asleep. You're like, you took sleep pills and, you were maybe hooking up before that, but you said, don't give me hickeys, and she gave you hickeys in your sleep. Yeah, bud, I think you've been violated. Even poor, some guys don't know that they've been harassed. Anyway, sorry, that took a turn. I apologize.
Now I'm gonna go to sleep and dream about people touching my feet.
Look, Gordo's up in arms. He's ready to protect you. I can see him.
I know, he was smushing his face into the mic. I was like, was that making a sound? Do you guys hear that? Baby.
Aww. Baby, not this time. I did not hear him purring.
Gotta keep her little face away from the mic.
No, but I had a half a paragraph. Oh, right. The unkempt toenails. I forgot. Wait. What did that make me leave off on? Oh, the mistaken removal of entire toes. This is the Mexico and American Southwest folklore. Sorry, let me just frighten you some more. Belief in duendes still exists among the Mixtecs in Zapotecs of Oaxaca. And it is said that they are the most commonly found in the mossy cloud forest of the state's mountain ranges. They appear in folklore and some books and other media, such as Disney's show Alanna of Alvador, who had an episode dedicated to
What?
the duende. I feel like this is a Disney show like
Never heard
Sophia
of
the
that.
First about the princess.
Never heard of this.
Me
Gordo,
neither. I don't even know what I'm saying right, but also there was the El Duende Satiro, which was a movie from 2016 about Palmyra, a teenager who is about to become an adult, leads a blissful life in her serene village. Things take a turn for the unexpected after a satyr comes into the picture. So that was an interesting interpretation. Much like I think most of these are. And then finally, there was the movie El Duende from 2019. The film tells the story of
Wow.
a girl who arrives in the city. What? Sorry.
I just said wow.
I know. Who arrives in the city with her young son and must take care of an old house where an elf lives. Elf on a shelf. Talk about shelf on an elf. No, I saw that somewhere. One day the child disappears mysteriously, which will motivate his mother to do the impossible to recover it. And then it underlined Eric Cortes Alvarez, because that's the filmmaker, I guess. And apparently I copied and pasted his name as well. Good job, Eric. Eric with a CK. You did it. And that's all I have. But that was, it was a fun dive, I gotta tell you. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Gordo.
I was just saying, is Gordo going to bed? Because he is just like looking like he's about to be
There.
breastfed. He's like, I am too tired.
It's like his head was blocking the mic. Couldn't even see it. Buddy, he was just like,
Who cares, Gordo? We're gonna make you listen to it later, like the Wine and Crime Gals and their 1-star review that said, "This must be played in Guantanamo Bay." That's what we'll do. We'll get hated, and then we'll get revered. Oh my god! He just like looked at me so hard after I said that.
Okay, bye. He's like, you guys
Okay,
are done.
bye, Gordo.
I'm done now.
Did you see that look he gave me?
No.
He was like right up. I don't know.
You talking to me?
Oh, totally.
What are we? Gotta let the people know what we're talking about next week first.
What is it? Do you remember? I'll have to look.
No. I don't have my list anymore.
Oh shit. We're gonna call this like body in a bag sort of crimes. That was the sort of theme. Cat hair, death by cat hair. That's what we're gonna cover next. That's gonna be what
It's like
takes Kelsey down.
I just spent 5 minutes trying to get it. It was stuck in between my teeth.
Oh god, it gets like hairs get stuck in my glasses, and sometimes they're my own hairs, and then they get like cut off. You know what I mean? They get broken from my glasses, and I'm all mad. So I'm like, that was my only hair, man. Don't fuck with me. So Gordo, be good, and I'll tell Fenrir as well, because I don't know where he went, but he already left. So. Good night. Say good night to your pets. Keep them spayed or neutered, and keep it cryptic from Bob Barker.
What? From Bob Barker.
Yeah, man, the Price is Right guy. That's what he always says when he ended
Keep it cryptic?
Well, no. He said keep your pets spayed and neutered.
Oh, okay.
To be fair.
I was like, what?
If we're being specific. I don't know. It's time to
right.
shut me off. I'm so sorry.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Castles and Cryptids. We love all our listeners and appreciate every subscriber, every new review, every listen, rate, and download. Our music is by Kobe Off Air, and our cover art is by Antonio Garcia. We are also a proud member of Darkcast Network, where you can find the best and spookiest of all indie podcasts. Follow us on social media, where we are at Castles and Cryptids on mostly all of the things, now including TikTok. Check out our bonus content on Patreon. Cryptid clashes, video minisodes of your host making asses of themselves, Ask Me Anything, quizzes, other special episodes, and more. Starting at just $2 a month, you can get 1 to 2 extra episodes, depending on your level. We produce, edit, and research everything ourselves, and any support you can lend helps us to keep it cryptic.